The Committee on Labor, Employment and Human Resource Development on proposed Senate Resolution number 692 is hereby resumed. We would like to welcome to the fourth hearing all our resource persons from various government agencies and private organizations. Hindi po hangarin ng ating committee na patagalin ng ating pagdinig, ngunit ang mga taong tiyak na makakapagbigay linaw sa kasong aking tinatalakay kaugnay ng resolusyon na inihain ni Senator Raffy Tulfo ay hindi nakadalo sa mga naunang pagdinig. The committee takes note of a very important development in the case of the MCI Project Developers Incorporated versus Bernadas et al. Last November 13, last year, the First Division of the Supreme Court issued a resolution regarding its ruling on the motions for partial reconsideration of the respondents and the DMCI on the March 22, 2023 resolution of the First Division of the Supreme Court. Nevertheless, we scheduled this here today to allow the other stakeholders to share their statements and explanations to the committee that will hopefully finally shed light to the case at hand. Ultimately, the committee aims to understand the entire scenario of this particular case and analyze how it can serve as a take-off point to improve our existing systems and procedures. Comsec, can you please state for the record the attendees today?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. For the record, the following resource persons were invited and who are now present. From the Department of Labor and Employment, Attorney Marlon Alban, the Alban, Legal Service. From the National Conciliation and Mediation Board, Deputy Executive Director Teresita Odea. From the National Labor Relations Commission, Commissioner Hernan Ecdao. From the Department of Human Settlements and Urban Development, Undersecretary Gary de Guzman. Assistant Secretary...
Excuse me, Engineer Julius, can you please sit down properly? Do not slouch. You, sit down properly.
Assistant Secretary Sharon Faith Pakis. Attorney Angelito Aguila. Attorney Norman Jacinto Doral. We also have the former employees of the Housing, Land and Land Use Regulatory Board in the name of Engineer Julius Tan, together with Engineer Annabel Narce. From the Land Registration Authority, Attorney Savalente Tadeo Elizalde. From the Taguig City Register of Deeds, Attorney Cedfrey Garcia. From the Taguig City Assessor's Office, Engineer Roberto Villaluz. And from the DMCI Holdings Incorporated, Mr. Sidil Consunji, Chairman and President. From the DMCI Project Developers Incorporated, Mr. Alfredo Austria, President, together with Attorney Basilio Gascon Jr., Corporate Counsel. We also have Mr. Lilio Rebueno, the complainant, together with Mr. Raymond Ang, and assisted by Private Counsel Attorney Agnes Maranan. From the labor groups, Mr. Domingo Mole, Buklura ng Magagawang Pilipino. And we have Mr. Salvador Caranza and Mr. Benjamin Miguel Alvero, the campaign officer of Centro. That is all, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Comsec. I would like to acknowledge the presence of the proponent of this resolution, Senator Raffy Tulfo.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Later, Mr. Chair, I'll reserve my
Thank you,
questions later.
Senator Tulfo. All right. To start the ball rolling, I would like to thank Mr. Consungi for attending this hearing. Are you privy to what is happening to the company? Are you aware?
I was briefed by our lawyers, sir, after I arrived from my vacation.
All right. Are you aware of the latest Supreme Court ruling?
Ano pa?
Are you aware of the latest Supreme Court ruling?
Yeah, I think the Supreme Court amended its ruling from, yeah.
Did you read the ruling of the Supreme Court?
Yes, sir, I think I'm aware of it.
What can you say?
I think they levied the whole property.
Okay, I will just for the record. I will just read the dispositive portion of the decision of the Supreme Court. Wherefore, the Court resolves to deny, number one, to deny the motion for partial reconsideration of petitioner DMCI Project Developers Incorporated for lack of merit. And number two, grant the motion for partial reconsideration of respondents Nelia Bernadas, Noel Batanes, Eduardo Nonsol, Jose Balde, Elmore Mabatan, and Lilio de Bueno. The March 22, 2023 resolution of the Court is affirmed with modification in that respondents Nelia Bernadas, Noel Batanes, Eduardo Nonsol, Jose Balde, Elmore Mabatan, and Lilio de Bueno are entitled to the entire property covered in the transfer certificate of title number 25491, and that the January 4, 2011 order of the labor arbiter in NRRC is affirmed in toto. You're aware of it?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. When did you receive this notice from the court? January 3.
Yes, sir.
Did you brief the president of the MCI, Attorney Gascon?
Yes.
It seems that he does not know, he hasn't read the decision.
He read it already. We briefed the chairman, Your Honor.
Okay. What is now the recourse of the MCI after this latest court resolution, Mr. Consungi?
I think we filed a motion for reconsideration.
How can you file a motion for reconsideration?
on
This is
January
already
18.
the answer of the first motion for reconsideration. And you cannot file a second motion for reconsideration before the court.
Our lawyers believe that it is not a second motion for reconsideration because the second decision was different from the first one.
No, I don't think so.
I'm not. I cannot judge that, sir. I'm not aware.
I think this is the answer for your first motion for reconsideration. And by law, and you're a lawyer, I am not, you cannot file an additional second motion for reconsideration in all courts for that matter.
Your Honor, we believe that this is a new decision because it clearly overturned its previous resolution. So, as a recourse, we filed an MR motion for reconsideration last January 17, Your Honor, in the Supreme Court.
But all right, assuming that you filed again this motion for reconsideration, and based on the Supreme Court ruling that you have lost the case, what is your next recourse?
Well, we will.
Assuming the Supreme Court again will deny your motion for reconsideration, what is your course of action? Next course of action?
Your Honor, since if that will happen, Your Honor, kung sakali man po na kung dininay po ng Supreme Court yung aming second motion for consideration, our recourse of action is to, of course, sinabi naman po dyan sa resolution na the property belongs to the what you call this, the workers. So we have settled already with the workers.
You have settled already with the workers?
Yes, Your Honor.
How did you settle with the workers?
We went to the office of the labor arbiter, Your Honor, and then we.
When?
September, Your Honor. September 24. As we have mentioned it already, Your Honor, in the previous hearing, we filed it on October 19, 2023, Your Honor.
Okay, I'll just go back to my previous question during the last hearing. You were too presumptuous. All right? I mentioned that word, presumptuous. Because the case was still pending before the Supreme Court. And you know that the land is being disputed. Correct?
Yes.
And I was asking you, why did you sell this land, itong mga units, habang pending pa yung kaso sa Korte Suprema? Now that the Supreme Court has decided on it, that this entire property belongs to the workers, what now are you going to do with the unit owners? How are you going to settle with the unit owners?
Of course, Your Honor.
We'll make them whole, sir. Either we return their money or replace the units if we get an adverse decision from the Supreme Court.
Have you talked to them?
No, sir.
Didn't they know before you sold the property? Didn't they know that this land is being disputed?
The property was sold way before this issue came. The decision of the Supreme Court is 2023.
Yes.
We developed it 2015. Nabenta na namin yan bago lumabas yung Supreme Court decision.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah, Senator.
very clear to me na talagang mahilig gumamit ng delaying tactics itong DMCI. In fact, kanina bago ako bumaba, I was gonna make a statement na sasabihin ko, ito si Mr. Consunhi, he's a respectable businessman na pinundan niya yung kanyang negosyo dahil sa hard work, honesty and all. Pero base sa nakikinig ko kanina, lahat ng mga yon nabura. Yung magagandang impression ko about you, personally, biglang nabura. That's just my opinion. You don't know when to surrender. Talagang ipupush nyo. And I doubt it na kapag sinasabi nyo nag-EMR kayo kahit na hindi na dapat, you will come up with many excuses para ma-stretch talaga to hanggang sa mangkamatay na siguro. Pardon for the word. Yung mga complainant. That's what you're trying to do. Because you have all the resources na para pahabain to while these complainants doesn't. Now, balik tayo. November, last year, nag-file kayo ng MR. At sumagot ang Supreme Court doon sa MR na pinal nyo. Attorney Agnes Maranan or sino gusto magsalita? Would you like to comment doon sa sinasabi nitong si Attorney Lazaro? Sorry, I call you Lazaro kasi nalala ko, siya yung kayang magbuhay ng patay. Did you know, before I'll let you talk, Attorney Agnes Maranan, alam niyo ho ba, Mr. Consunhi, na itong abogado niyo na memeke, and yet, andito pa rin siya, pinapayagan niyo siya. I was expecting that he will no longer be here after na malaman ninyo na gumagawa siya ng hindi tama, na nakakasira po sa imahe ninyong company. Kaya pagdating ko rito, nagulat ako, andito pa rin siya. Kasi if I were you in your situation at meron ako isang staff na gumawa ng kalokohan, sisibaking ko na. Kaya sabi ko, gagawa sana ko na napakagandang statement na pupurihin ka. At yung nakikita ko ngayon, yung mga narinig ko, binabawi ko na yung mga gandang impression ko towards you personally. I'm sorry, Mr. Consunhi. Go ahead, Attorney.
Before that, Senator Rafi,
Mr. Chair.
I have received notice that the former counsel of Mr. Lilio Rebueno has already withdrawn from the case, and I think they have already a new counsel that will assist Mr. Lilio Rebueno. In the name of Attorney Maranan. Who else? Only you, no, Attorney Maranan?
Yes, sir. My partners are here as well, Your
All right.
Honor.
Okay.